many months ago was requesting to change it to medium density, and it was low density, and this council did not approve that, and now we're seeing 4.37 units per acre, which fits the neighborhood, and I'm really glad to see this. This is a good example of urban infill with what meets the neighborhood. It matches what's in the neighborhood, and they're actually giving us more park space than required, so this is good.
Thank you, Ms. Garner. Any other comments from council? One question. Mr. Porter?
The parks that are being created, are they going to be maintained by the development, or are they going to be turned over to the city? I know they're small parks. One's a tot lot and one.
Homeowners?
By the HOA, sir.
Homeowners?
Yes.
Okay. And the homeowners would know that going in, that they're going to be public parks, right?
Yes, sir.
Because it's public streets, there's no gate, so they can't turn people away from going to the park, but yet the homeowners associations are going to be paying for it.
I believe the way this one went, that's basically the way it's set up. We can ask Mr. Shiver, if my memory serves me correctly, that it's essentially the way we set it up. However, the caveat was that if there turns out to be a lot of problems because of people being in there who are not from there and not taking care of it, they may come back and look at it again.
I just want to put it on the record that from the very beginning that it's a community that's open to the public streets, and it's a homeowners maintained parks or tot lots or whatever. So you can't exclude, I don't know how you exclude anybody from just going in and using them.
To the best of my knowledge, I believe you're correct, sir.
And Mr. Shiver is shaking his head that is correct, sir.
My memory serves me correctly.
Vice Mayor?
Mr. Chandra, what's happening with this particular parcel and the school mitigation issue?
I'm glad you asked that. This is the first reading of this, and just before we got here a little while ago, I talked to both Ivan Rodriguez and Patty Good at the school board. This is one that, per our code, they have met with the school board. They're not in the FPD. They have met. They have not come up to an agreement. I talked to both Ivan and Patty. They said they would be here tonight, but they had a prior commitment. They will be here for the second reading, but they offered a little more information that might be a little more up to date for everybody to be aware. When the original package was put together, the school board was looking for $195,000 above the impact fee. That included Campbell Drive Middle School as one of the schools being affected. They've gone back and checked their figures since Campbell Drive Middle School just had the
addition, sir.
The addition, portable, I might call it, not a portable, that
Concrete modules.
Pardon?
The concrete
module, thank you, ma'am. That school has been downgraded numerically to like 82%, so it would not affect this project from the standpoint of those numbers. Therefore, it looks like if they went back to the school and the school board started talking now, the numbers would be closer to $90,000. Now, I did ask one other question just to keep everything on the same page. If they were in the old system prior to what the school board is asking now, by a formula, what would the cost be? And it seems to range from $25,000 to $80,000, depending on how the school board looked at it. So what we have here is the possibility of the old system looking for $80,000, new system looking for $90,000. So I just wanted to make mention of that and see if maybe the applicant will be talking to the school board again between now and the next meeting. If they're that close, we may actually make this thing work. Just wanted to bring that up for reference.
Okay, thank you. And what I would do is I would recommend that we go ahead and approve it on first reading, and then let the developer work the issues out with the school board, and then we'll come back with a report on second reading.
That sounds fine, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other comments? This is a public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Hodge?
Yes.
Councilman Losner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Mayor Wine?
Yes.
Motion carries.
That concludes the quasi-judicial agenda for this evening. Moving on to legislative matters, resolutions. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Miami-Dade County, Florida, expressing support for the creation of the Homestead 50 PUD Community Development District by the Miami-Dade County Commission for the lands described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date.
The motion for approval?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Hodge. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Porter. Question? Any comments from council? If not, I'll open a public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes. Councilman Losner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Councilman Hodge?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next item is the add-on item, which is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, nominating the City of Homestead for the Florida League of Cities City Spirit Award, authorizing the city manager to implement this resolution, providing for an effective date.
I'll move that, Mayor.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hodge. Only we're going to win. Any comments from council? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Next, in ordinances, we have second reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, providing for a moratorium on issuance of development orders and development permits within the Northwest neighborhood, generally located west of US 1 to the western boundary of the city and north of Maury Drive to the northern boundary of the city as shown on Exhibit A, exempting specified single-family detached residential, commercial, office, industrial, and other specified uses, providing for waivers, vested rights, judicial review, and for exhaustion of administrative remedies for the specific matters provided herein, providing for conflicts, providing for a term, and providing for an effective date.
I'll move it, Mayor.
Moved by Councilman Losner, second by the Vice Mayor. Any comments on this ordinance?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Losner?
Since this was an add-on to the agenda, I didn't have an opportunity, I didn't realize it was on until tonight, and I apologize. There's a provision in here, and I'll go back to it. It talks about, it's the stair-stepping of sizes. It would be page 3 toward the top where the stars are that enumerate what's permitted and the stair-stepping of the lot sizes. Right-hand page, for top quarter of the third page. Single-family detached residential on between 5,000 and 7,500 square feet if the lot area matches that of majority of the occupied lots. In thinking about this and having some situations brought to my attention, and this is something that we adjusted last time, this is the first time we've seen this paragraph, and Rick Stotts, I haven't had an opportunity to talk to you about it, that I would like to see us consider an amendment that would adjust, that would put another paragraph in that if you're between 6,250 and 7,500, you don't have to match the rest of the block. Because what it seems to me that could do is stymie infill housing and also stifle for a year implementation of some creative construction, urban design guidelines and so forth. Yeah, we've got some old 50 by 125s that may have been grandfathered in, 60s by 50s by 135, those kinds of things that while they may not match the majority of the block, which I think they would certainly be compatible. So I'd like the point at which the lot size has to match the majority of the lots on the block begin at, or be in the range between 5,000 and less than 6,250. So that 6,250 and above is a matter of right. You could come in and do the detached single-family development. So I would offer that as an amendment to the ordinance.
I'll second the amendment.
Offer as an amendment by Councilman Losner, second by Vice Mayor Bell. Any comments?
What's staff's position? Does staff have a position on that or not?
I think that's a reasonable accommodation to some of the things that exist out there. I'm sitting here thinking about minimum lot width, but we really don't have in the Northwest that many issues of very narrow and very long lots like we do in the Southwest. So trying to put some dimension in it, I don't believe would accomplish anything. I think this is a reasonable accommodation.
The question was that, in the Southwest we did have, and I think in the committee meeting we discussed about the limitations of the sizes, and it was the opinion of staff that there weren't that many really small lots in the Northwest that we would find ourselves with problems.
No, the only places we may have that is on some corner lots that may have gotten kind of cramped up, and with setbacks it becomes an issue, but the volume of the lot as a whole would take care of that, I believe.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Porter.
I was just going to comment, I believe that preserves the integrity of the moratorium as well as that what we're trying to accomplish overall. And if anybody comes to us with such a good quality product within these parameters, then we shouldn't turn them down. So I think it's very appropriate and very reasonable, and I absolutely would agree with it, especially with what we're trying to do.
You finished, Ms. Vice Mayor? Mr. Porter?
I'm sorry, Mayor, I forgot to ask, has there been anyone else that's come up to the staff and talking about, we always struggle with this pipeline issue, and I know we settled one of them in the committee meeting. Has there been any others that we don't know about yet, to your knowledge?
Mr. Porter, so far nobody has come in, but again, we ran through this the very first time and put the date back in July 25th, so when we started it, that's when the date started. We have heard one other item at DRC, which got in a day or two before, but right now we have nobody that's claiming to be in a pipeline. There may be something with the next couple of weeks, but again, by having that definite date, we're in pretty good shape.
Okay, but there's nothing at this particular point out there that you...
No, sir, there's not.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Any other comments? This is a public hearing. Any comments from the public?
Mr. Mayor, because this is an ordinance, I think there should be a formal motion
Motion for the amendment.
A motion on the amendment and a vote on the amendment.
Okay, been moved and second on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And on the main ordinance, do we have a motion on the main? Moved by the Vice Mayor, second. Second by Mr. Losner.
I'm sorry, we need the public hearing on the main ordinance. Thanks.
On public hearing. I want to get the motion, to get the first and second. Then we go.
Right, so we need a motion on the main.
On the main.
As amended?
Yeah.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Losner, second by the Vice Mayor. This is a public hearing. Any comments from the audience? This is an initiative for the northwest section of Homestead. We have a temporary moratorium, so we can plan it out as we've done with the southwest community. And Mr. Losner have graciously agreed to be the chair of this effort. So any complaints? Any comments from the audience? If not, we'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Councilman Hodge?
Yes.
Councilman Losner?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We're now on business from the city manager. Mr. Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, a couple of things. One, just for public notice, our next council meeting will be September 6th at 7 p.m. So there will not be a council meeting for September 6th, the 5th being a holiday, that Monday, Labor Day. Yeah, there will be garbage pickup on Labor Day.
They're going to be laboring on Labor Day.
There will be garbage pickup, I'm told, on Labor Day. So it's scheduled for Labor Day. Yes. I'll find out. I'll be one of the first ones to know if it happens or not. There you go. The second item, the American Red Cross, the City of Homestead, the Community Health of South-Dade, Inc., Miami-Dade County Office of Emergency Management, and the United Way of Miami-Dade invite all our residents to a special seminar designed to help you prepare for hurricanes. The Hurricane Preparedness and Emergency Planning meeting will be held August 22nd, 2005, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. here in the council chambers. We did this once before. It was well received last time we did this. We have two more town hall meetings coming up in August. They will be on the 24th at the William F. Bill Dickinson Senior Center, beginning at 7 o'clock, and that'll be on Wednesday the 24th. Thursday the 25th, they'll be at the Northgate Clubhouse. Again, it's beginning at 7. Wait, I see somebody shaking. They moved it to where? Oh, to the stadium, okay. Then we'll go to the Minor League Clubhouse at 7 for the Northgate. I was wondering how that would work out, I guess. Then lastly, we have Representative Miss Alicia Gonzalez here tonight. She's available for any questions, but I wanted to again announce 2 community visioning sessions scheduled at the YMCA, one on August 24th and one on the 27th, to discuss our transportation master plan. The city has entered into a master plan for transportation planning within the city. It's time for public input, and that will be the 24th, the 23rd. Okay, this had the 24th on it. I was thinking the 23rd, Tuesday, from 3 to 8 p.m., and that's at the YMCA. And also on Saturday, the 27th, from 10 to 3 p.m. at the YMCA, Harris Field. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Vice Mayor Bill?
Thank you, Mayor. I was invited actually by the mayor to a wonderful luncheon at Miami-Dade College where the mayor was honored, and it was a wonderful, wonderful event on the mayor's behalf, and I wanted to say congratulations. It was very, very nice.
Thank you.
We took a tour of some of the areas of the campus, the nursing department, the area where they're teaching nursing as well as aviation, and I was very, very impressed with the technology that's available as well as the training that we get right here in our own backyard. So I was very impressed with that. Also, I was the speaker at a Sir Optimus luncheon, and it was very nice. Gave them pretty much a city update, what's happening in the area, in the city with development, with growth, with education. Always a lot of questions in the areas of growth and education. So it was good to give them an update on what's happening. Also had another meeting with Captain Kennedy in the police department, along with SOS, Weed and Seed, school board police, as well as school board staff and myself, trying to devise a plan to attack truancy in our community. Because even though we know it is a school board issue and a school police issue, we have to make it our issue. We have to make it our problem, because when the children are out of school, they're in the community, usually getting into trouble, which is a big strain on our police department as well as on the community as well. So we are working on that as well. We've restarted the classroom learning assistance program, getting the seniors back in gear and volunteering at the local elementary schools, and things are pretty much getting back up and running. We had our first back to school education committee meeting last week. It was very, very well attended, and we had our school board representative attend as well. So not member, but a representative from the school board. So I was very, very pleased. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilwoman Garner?
Thank you, Mayor. The Mayor's Youth Council is very busy. I was going to give everyone an update. As you can see from tonight, we have 5 new members, and we have no open positions. Next, September 12th, their next formal meeting, they're going to have their annual debates and election, and I can tell it's going to get good because they have practice now, and they're really getting into it. So if anyone wants to stop by, that'll be September 12th here in Council Chambers at 7 p.m. They are public meetings, and I have a good time. I'm laughing the whole time. I'm hoping that we can get them public on the TV next year, because then we might get some more attendance in the crowd from non-members. But those who are elected will be appointed and sworn in at our council meeting on September 19th by the mayor, so you'll get to see their new mayor and council on the 19th. They're also working on a project, their back-to-school amateur night. It's going to be a fun event at Harris Field, Friday, September 16th from 7 to 10 p.m. They're having live performances, DJ, dancing. It's kind of a fun event for them to meet new friends, but also to raise money for their Washington trip. They're charging $4 in advance and $5 at the door. And we're printing the tickets right now, so you'll see those red tickets floating around soon. We're also going to have their annual Citizens Academy on October 10th, once they have their new council in place. It's the same thing as the Adult Citizens Academy, except it's one day because of our attention spans. It's a classroom setting with a professor from FIU. They meet all the department heads and really get to know what's going on in the city and get to meet our staff so they know who to direct questions to. And then we take a really fun field trip to the electric utility plant, the water and sewer plant, and their favorite, the police department. So you'll probably see pictures from that coming soon. That's on October 10th. The only other thing I had was, maybe Mr. Shahada can help me, the street lights down Kingman Road, Centergate Boulevard, and Palm Drive to Farm Life. Those are FPL lights, aren't they? I don't think that's in the city's lighting area, but the lights have been out for several days now. It's really dark at night.
Ms. Garner, to be frank with you, I can't give you an answer right now, but I will verify it, and if it's ours, we will fix it. If it's FPL, I will notify them.
Thank you.
LeBron.
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Garner. Councilman Hodge?
Nothing at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Councilman Losner?
Thank you, Mayor. I didn't have anything planned, but it occurred to me that maybe watching the Mayor's Youth Council debate and get ready for their election may be a good warm-up for the rest of us.
I'll be taking notes.
And that reminded me that we might as well go ahead and start announcing that the first political forum will be held on, first one that I know of will be September 21st, which is sponsored, it's a Chamber of Commerce event where Rotary, Kiwanis, and I think the Women's Club all participate at Redland Country Club. That's the luncheon one on the 21st. There's also one scheduled for the evening of October 12th, which will be after the primary, if there is one. Hopefully there won't be. October 12th, which is a Wednesday evening at the Women's Club of Homestead. That's sponsored by the South Dade News Leader and the Women's Club. And certainly as more are scheduled, and I hope that they are, we'd love to keep the public up to date on those events. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Losner. Mr. Porter?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say wanted to ask staff, in this construction phase that we see the city under, there's a lot of cuts across the roadways, and running a water pipe, a small cut. But the problem is, I don't think they're being repaired correctly, and because they immediately sink, they immediately become a bone-jarring experience. I know Kingman. I was on Kingman over the weekend, and that one had a pretty good drop-off. So I just request that staff implement some sort of a policy or some sort of a procedure, or maybe do something a little different to make these people, even if it's on a temporary basis, the cars are still running up and down the roads on an ongoing basis. And I think, Julio, we talked about a temporary, what is temporary, last time we discussed this. Temporary to a construction company could be 1 year. Temporary to me is like 3 or 4 days. And, so I would certainly like for you as Mr. Manager or Mr. Shahada or whoever, just let's take a look at that, because these temporary cuts become long-term problems for us, because if the construction company that does the repair isn't here when it fails, we have to fix it. So you don't have to answer Mike particularly if you want, but I think it's something the community would like to see us address in some way. And it's not going to get less of the cuts across. There's going to be more of the cuts across. So that's my request, Mayor. And I know they can do it, and we'll just wait and see what happens.
Thank you, Mr. Porter.
Thank you, sir.
And while we're on you, and you chair the public safety, you were the chief. I've attended several workshops on the use of tasers against children in Miami, and I'd like to get feedback on what's our policy here in the city of Homestead and the use of tasers. Because I know many municipalities now are saying you got to be a certain age. If you're 10 or under no circumstances do you use it, and there's some procedures and processes in place. So it's a major debate going on about them, and I just want to make sure that when we do use them, that we stand behind the policy. So you guys can look into that, Mr. Porter. I appreciate it.
We'll talk about it. Thank you. For sure. Bring back a report.
Thank you, sir. Could I have a motion to officially appoint the members to the Mayor's Youth Council?
So moved, Mayor.
Moved by Councilman Garner, second by Mr. Porter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Just want to announce that the Vice Mayor has 2 openings in the Education Committee.
Yes, and I already have 2 interested parties, and they're both teachers, so I'll be bringing those names to you.
Good, thank you. Just a bit of information. I received a letter from the Department of Community Affairs. Rick, I don't know whether you or the manager have a copy, but this in regards to the bill that the governor signed, Senate Bill 360, which introduced a number of significant reforms to the Florida Growth Management Law. Are we aware of that? Chief among these changes was a new requirement that local governments and school board adopt a school concurrency program by December the 1st, 2008. So we certainly need to some very stringent rules in place now regarding concurrency, so that's a good thing. I also received a letter from the U.S. Department of Interior reference our Greenway project, and apparently it's among 18 others that are being considered for funding, and we will know whether they're going to pick us up by the 7th or 8th of September. We will know which project we're going to select, but I did call Mr. Munez from the county who the letter was forwarded to, and they're very optimistic that our project will be one of the 18 they're going to select, so that's a good thing. So we'll know very shortly whether we'll get some funds from the U.S. Department of Interior. The Florida Department of Transportation had some grant funds available for highway beautification in the amount up to $300,000, and I'll pass this to the manager. We may want to look into.
Mr. Mayor, I wonder if our decorative lighting might fall within some of that, so that we can retrofit some of our existing roadways.
Could be. And finally, just to ditto what the Vice Mayor said earlier, I was honored by Miami-Dade College last Wednesday, and it was an initiative by the college, and Vice Mayor and I was present. It was a first-class affair.
Beautiful.
And it just reiterates what we all know, that we have a jewel there at that Miami-Dade College campus. They got the state-of-the-art equipment for our aviation program, the state-of-the-art equipment for our nursing. It's just a tremendous amount of activity going on at that community college, and we just need to spread the word to our young folks that opportunities are here right in Homestead, and the programs are here right in Homestead. And we also had an opportunity to talk to Dr. Shulman about joining with FIU and start offering courses here, and he was very, very supportive. It's just a matter of us working the schedules out. So there's support there from Miami-Dade College where they would be willing to provide their facility at certain times during the day for FIU to come in. So the Vice Mayor and I had an opportunity to share that with Dr. Shulman at Miami-Dade College. So it was a fantastic affair. I was indeed honored that they recognized me that day and gave me a beautiful plaque and a beautiful painting that a student painted. And I'll bring it at the next meeting and show it to you. But it was very, very nice, and I was very, very appreciative. And they're very supportive of the city and what we're doing and continue to do to bring educational opportunities to our community. So I was indeed honored that evening. And that's all I have. Any public comments? Any comments from the public?
Record-breaking meeting.
Hi, I'm Ed Powell. I'm at 2274 Southeast 27th Drive in Keysgate. Couple of things. First thing is a question. A month or two ago, we questioned whether Waterstone was going to make it for school opening or not. I just wondered, did it open?
Yes, it did.
It did open.
Faulted Vice Mayor.
All right, because there was a lot of bets on whether we're going to make it. And
Well, maybe that positive peer pressure helped it get opened on time.
okay, because the builder said whatever you had to do, it would open, so that's good. The other thing, I had gotten to my email, and I had sent it around, and I sent it to Mr. Ivey. There's an international movement called ICE, in case of emergency. And Kurt saw it and said it might be a good thing, and it's going to have staff look at it. It's basically, it started in Britain over this terrorist thing, where if someone's laying injured and you're trying to identify them or their heirs, they're talking about using their cell phone with a number that you hit, and it rings up whoever that contact person is. So it's called ICE, and I think it's gaining a lot of momentum all around the world. So it's something I just wanted to mention to you. And lastly, I don't have everybody in Homestead on my emailing list, and I know everyone doesn't read the Herald and the Newsleader, but I know they all watch the City Council videos. So the people of Homestead, you've got 2 more chances to meet with your City Council and staff at these town hall meetings. And the one I'm particularly interested in is the one that's going to be August 25th. It was going to be at Northgate and Keysgate, but the citizens were a little concerned that they were going to overpower the place because we can only sit about 80 people. And we know everybody is going to be so interested that we've moved it to the minor league stadium. What we'd like to do is have to move it to the stadium itself. So we're encouraging everybody in Homestead to come out to either one of the last two meetings. They've put in a lot of time, they spend a lot of effort, and if you want to be involved, now's your chance. And just remember, we've got elections coming up in the fall. So if you want to have a say, please come out to one of those two meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Any other comments from the audience? If not, thank you all very much for coming out. Meeting is adjourned.
Done.